So I reckon you should envisage it from the beginning on any project, think positively. And so what we're offering is the ability to envisage that from the very beginning, to make sure that all the reporting that you're doing along the way, or all the accounting that you're doing along the way, is going to fit with the needs. And we're offering services that go along with that, that can help you put that all together, but at the same time allow you to do as much of that work yourself, and so keeping those production accounting fees down. So we basically MAP is a collection of procedures, our intellectual property, I suppose, in having been involved with these projects for a long time, and having seen all the things with the producer offset or with the funding bodies that are problems or not, or issues and things you need to be mindful of, things you can do, things you can't do, and bringing that intelligence to your production. But at the same time, as I say, I know a lot of people who are familiar with Moneypenny have tended to think of us as being out of the reach of low budget productions, and so what we're trying to do is make sure that you can get the things that we offer, that I'm in business, I need to make money out of what I'm doing, but I think I can deliver something to you to the filmmakers that makes sense, that is affordable. And in the process, which is why MAP, I think, is a good name for it, I say basically, if you're an emerging filmmaker and you don't have, and you've not made a film before, and you don't have the knowledge of these systems and everything, then basically the systems that we introduce you to at the beginning are the same systems that you will use throughout your career. So the same systems that you can use on a $500,000, $750,000 documentary or low budget film. Those same systems are being used on Mel Gibson's Hacksaw Ridge, or on Moulin Rouge, or on all of those big films. So to actually learn those systems from the outset and continue to operate those systems as hopefully you make bigger and bigger films. And we know that when you do a lot of the work yourself on the lower budget projects, you probably won't enjoy doing the accounting. You'd probably wish you weren't there doing it. But it's actually quite empowering to do your own cost reporting, get involved with your own manager. And you should be, on those low budget projects, managing the financial elements of it rather than the production accountant doing it. And so further down the track, when you have got a full-time production accountant, you know how it all works. You've got a much more knowledge of it than a lot of the producers out there have now. So I think it actually is a very good training exercise at the beginning of your career, and helps you sort of formulate the map. And what we're about is working with people at that lower end of town and helping train them. So to us, it's as much of a training exercise, an educational exercise, as it is a services and support exercise. So Rose is here now because Rose actually recently, a year ago, moved to Byron Bay, and so she's actually working locally on these systems. And in fact, we're going to be talking tomorrow in the Living Regionally, Working Internationally session, because in fact Rose is working on a UK project, working out of Byron Bay when the production office is actually in Sydney. So it's definitely something that in this cloud-based digital environment we're able...
Where everything's heading anyway, sort of physical, where you are, physical location, apart from the shooting crew, of course.
So the software that we've introduced is called Midas. My, D standing for digital, A standing for accounting and administration. And I say accounting and administration because it's not just an accounting system, it's actually a complete administration system, in the sense that you create crew contracts out of the system. You process digital purchase orders within the system, which help manage the budget for you. You can store absolutely every single piece of paperwork that is generated on a project in the system. And so what you do need when you get to producer offset stage is you need to have your complete chain of title to present at offset stage, being all of your option, your writer agreements, all of your above the line contracts with your directors, with your all your producer contracts. You need to have copies of your original script, you need a copy of your original schedule, you need all the daily progress reports if it's a drama that's been created along the way. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be submitted as part of that final application. And if all of that stuff is being collected along the way and put in what we call our digital filing cabinet, so that it's all there and ready at the end, then you're much more streamlined with the process.
And of course it's being collected by you, so it's not costing you any money in production accounting fees.
We're just providing the digital filing cabinet for you to put everything into. The producer offset also requires that, and if there is equity funding in a project, so even if you're not producer offset, if you've got funding from New South Wales or Screen Australia, there will usually be a requirement that there is an audit, because, you know, as Screen Australia are very fond of saying, it's taxpayers' money that they're giving to the filmmaker, and so there's due diligence that is required in terms of ensuring that is properly spent, and that means an audit. Now, we don't provide audit services because that's kind of at conflict what we do with the production accounting, but what we do is work very closely with the auditors that are specialist in film, and all of those auditors now access this software package. So I can remember, having been working in the industry for quite a while, I can remember that audits used to be the auditor coming into the production office for 2 weeks, getting in my way while I was trying to wrap up the show, wanting to take copies of this and wondering where that was and all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, that kind of changed to being, you sent them a Excel of all your transactions, and then they highlighted transactions that they wanted to see the original paperwork of. So it still consumed a lot of my time, because then I've still got to go through all the files, photocopy all those things, or scan them when we moved on a bit, and send them all to the auditor. Whereas now we just give them access to the system and say, find it yourself. and they do. And they love it because, you know, they've gone through phases of having to have lots of archive boxes delivered to them. So what I love... Oh, have we moved on here?
Oh,
Actually, no, let's move on. Yes, no, you're right, sorry. So what I love about what we're doing now and what's now possible in this cloud-based era is that we're going paperless. And actually, I've been talking paperless for... some time now, but I've not had everybody with me in my paperless space, but now it is starting to really happen. And so what we do is we actually, I mean, the thing is as well, so many invoices actually arrive by email now anyway. So save those trees, don't bother to print them off. Basically transfer them directly as an attachment into your accounting software. And the fact is, you know, when we've got our Midas solution, there are other accounting packages out there, obviously, that allow for attaching up, you know, your invoices and so on. But what we've got, as I say, is we've got the ability to attach all of the invoices and to be able to view them from anywhere within the system, and for the auditors to be able to view them. We've got the ability to generate the contracts within the system and have those contracts all attached, which are an important delivery item apart from being something that's required for Screen Australia and for audit. And then we've got our miscellaneous filing cabinets where we can put the budget, the schedule, the daily progress reports.